This is Nightline.
Tonight, the fiery Menendez brothers court hearing.
It was very difficult to sit and listen to what we witnessed.
Behind bars for more than 3 decades for killing their parents, their future on the line. Packed with spectators, including actor Cooper Koch, who played Erik in the popular Netflix series.
And you are never to touch him. Not ever.
Some family members speaking out for the first time.
You've held your silence for 35 years.
Are Erik and Lyle Menendez one step closer to freedom? Plus, the so-called doomsday mom, back in court.
I have been charged with a crime, a serious crime.
Lori Vallow Daybell was the beauty queen mom who seemingly had it all, until she met the religious leader prepping for the end of the world.
I realized a legion of evil spirits was not happy with my books.
Family members started dying and disappearing.
Lori, tell us where your kids are. Everybody wants to know.
Will she be convicted of another murder?
She spends the first part of her life just racking up husbands. And then the last part is all about racking up the bodies.
And Carmageddon. The unhappy campers hoping to see Lady Gaga and others take the stage at Coachella, wishing they could abracadabra the miles of traffic away.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, following hours of fierce courtroom sparring, a ray of hope for Lyle and Erik Menendez, the infamous siblings convicted of killing their parents more than 30 years ago. Here's ABC's Matt Gutman.
Late today inside an LA courtroom, a key legal victory for Erik and Lyle Menendez.
Justice won over politics. It's been a long time coming.
Despite intense opposition from the new LA district attorney, the judge ruling that the brothers can move forward with resentencing. 3 generations of family members outside celebrating.
We're not naive. We know hope can be fragile. But we believe that the law is on our side. And for today, that's enough.
The fiery hearing taking place over 6 hours as Menendez family attorney Mark Garagos and the LA DA's office went head to head.
This judge could have easily said, going to call off the resentencing hearing. The DA doesn't want it. As a result, we're done. The fact that the judge is now going to have that hearing at all over the objection of the DA is a real win for Erik and Lyle Menendez. Does that mean that they're necessarily going to get resentenced? No. But at the least, it means that they've got a shot.
The brothers have been behind bars for more than 3 decades after murdering their parents Kitty and Jose Menendez in 1989. They joined today's hearing over Zoom as prosecutors displayed graphic photos like these from the crime scene, taking hours to paint them as serial liars.
Yet again, we were re-traumatized by this district attorney's office. We've had to live in the spotlight for the last 35 years. It doesn't get easier for us. And so to sit there again in the courtroom and have him do it again, that's hurtful.
The family is absolutely unanimous that they should be released?
Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely.
Just hours before the hearing, I sat down with 8 members of the family, including Jose's sole surviving sister, Terry Menendez-Baralt, in her first interview since 1990.
You've held your silence for 35 years.
For everybody, this is a story. For me, it's very personal. Those kids, they are like the boys that I didn't have. So it's time. 35 years is a long time. It's a whole branch of my family erased. The ones that are gone and the ones that are still paying for it, which were kids.
I've met numerous times with District Attorney Nathan Hochman, and again he says those 2 brothers, they shotgunned Kitty and Jose mercilessly and relentlessly, in the kneecaps, in the head.
They are truly, deeply sorry for what they did. And they are profoundly remorseful. They are filled with remorse over what they did. And through that, they have become pretty remarkable people.
It's the first time this many family members from all over the country have interviewed together, and it might be the last. Terry is battling colon cancer, flying to LA with her chemo medication to attend the hearing.
Are you concerned that you might not live to see the brothers released from prison?
It is a concern. I have tried to go see them as much as I can, but it's hard. Because I live in New Jersey and I'm 85. I don't have that much time. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't.
Erik and I killed our parents together, so I'd say that makes us pretty close.
The brothers' story gained renewed attention after last year's heavily dramatized Netflix series, Monsters.
And you were never to touch him. Not ever.
Actor Cooper Koch, who played Erik, showing up to court today in support of the brothers. The show focusing on the brothers' accusations that they were sexually abused for years by their father. A trauma barely understood at the time, suddenly looked through a modern lens.
Does anybody here have any doubt at this point that the brothers were sexually abused by their father?
No.
Did you know, Terry? Did you know what was going on in that house?
Who knows what's going on in the house unless you live there?
Some of the cousins say they did suspect something was off.
I vacuumed every day, and I couldn't vacuum past the bathroom in the hallway. The time I was there, which was quite a while, I never saw the kids' bedroom, their bedroom, or anything, because I wasn't allowed down the hallway.
Did anybody think this was weird?
I think there's a difference between thinking that something is weird and knowing that something is happening.
Last fall, it seemed the brothers were on the cusp of freedom under then-DA George Gascon.
I believe that the people that they were at age 19 and 21 is not the same people that we're seeing 35 years later.
But Gascon was voted out of office in November, and current DA Nathan Hochman has said he would not support resentencing or a new trial, speaking with me in March.
What would they actually have to do?
They'd have to finally admit after 30 years that they killed their parents willfully, deliberately, and in premeditated fashion, not because they believed that their parents were going to kill them that night.
Have you considered meeting with the brothers and speaking with them?
We certainly considered it. But in cases like this, we've been actually able to get their opinions. They've written letters, they've written declarations, they've given statements to the media. So we had the information to consider. And they've had, again, 30 years to come clean with all their criminal actions, and they haven't.
For years, the brothers have claimed they killed in self-defense following years of abuse at the hands of their father. Hochman stressing that in court, sex abuse was never their defense for killing their parents.
During their testimony, when asked, did you kill your parents because they sexually abused you? Answer, no. We killed our parents because we believed they were going to kill us that night. So until they come to grips with the full breadth of all their lies, they have not been fully rehabilitated, and they continue to constitute an unreasonable risk of danger to society.
The family responding to Hochman's claims.
He said that the brothers have made something like 24 or so lies that they haven't apologized for and have never admitted as lies.
I thought it was more
What
than
does
that.
he want
It was a big
as an apology? Does he want them in front of a TV crying and said, I am so sorry? Is that what he wants? Is that what he means?
I asked him that exactly. And I said, do you want them to apologize for these 24 separate things? Do you have a list? He said, in fact, I do.
I guess he should go back and watch the trials or read the transcripts because they were cross-examined on all of those.
It was all litigated.
And most of those lies they told when they were young and scared of the consequences for their actions that they have owned up to a million times, certainly to all of us, but also publicly.
The resentencing will move forward next Thursday and Friday.
There's no way for us to predict how next week is going to go. We have great faith in the system. We have great faith that justice is going to prevail. We have great faith that this judge is acting based on the law. So that gives us hope because they've certainly earned it.
And if you could say something right now to Erik and Lyle, what would you say to them?
We're so proud of you. We're so proud of you. We're going to fight for you forever. And I really hope this happens.
Our thanks to Matt. We will, of course, continue to follow this story as it unfolds. When we come back, so-called doomsday mom Lori Vallow Daybell serving consecutive life sentences for killing her children, back on trial for a new murder. Welcome back. Former beauty queen Lori Vallow Daybell is already serving back-to-back life sentences for role in multiple murders, including her 2 children. Now she's back in court, accused of yet another murder. Here's ABC's Deborah Roberts.
I have been charged with a crime, a serious crime. And the only question here is, did I commit this crime?
Some call her the Doomsday Mom. Now back in the headlines and back in court on trial again.
A family tragedy is not a crime.
Lori Vallow Daybell facing a conspiracy to murder charge, this time for the suspicious death of her fourth husband.
The state will come to you and ask you to hold the defendant responsible for the death of Charles Vallow.
Defending herself in court, she has pleaded not guilty.
The evidence will show that I ran outside to the children and that Alex shot Charles in self-defense.
And again coming face to face with witnesses, cross-examining them herself.
So you spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me.
Don't flatter yourself.
Her latest trial fueling fascination, turning Lori into a media sensation. Spawning documentaries like the Netflix series Sins of Our Mother.
We did have a wonderful family before this happened.
A Lifetime series, Doomsday Mom, the Lori Vallow story.
Looks like I'm a suspect, but I'm a good person.
And Lori interviewed on Dateline from prison.
After I get exonerated, maybe I'll go on Dancing with the Stars.
But before she was the mom on trial, Lori Vallow Daybell, then Lori Cox, was born to a devout Mormon family. She grew up a happy, popular girl in Rialto, California, a high school cheerleader who wanted a family of her own.
Lori Vallow is someone whose life took a dramatic turn.
She was married and divorced 3 times before meeting her fourth husband, Charles Vallow, a successful businessman, in 2006. The blended family consisting of Lori's daughter, Tylee, and JJ, one of Charles's relatives they adopted as a son.
Charles Vallow seemed to have really loved her, and something happened to her that changed everything.
Lori Vallow attended a religious conference in Utah in 2018, becoming enamored with a 50-year-old religious leader named Chad Daybell.
Daybell, he's an author. He's a believer that the end of the world as we know it is coming soon. Daybell has written dozens of these post-apocalyptic, very dark books.
The couple's marriage deteriorates, with Vallow even calling police on his wife, saying she was threatening his life.
She took all the money out of her bank account today, yesterday with a threat to kill me.
The couple eventually separating, Charles and Lori sharing custody of 7-year-old JJ.
You know, no weapon?
But one morning when Charles went to pick up their son at Lori's house,
You have some ID on you, sir?
there was a violent confrontation with Lori's brother, Alex.
What is the emergency?
I shot my brother-in-law.
Alex claiming self-defense.
Was he armed also, or just?
Yeah, he came at me with a bat.
When Lori Vallow and her daughter Tylee arrived back at the house, the mom and daughter seemed calm.
Hi, neighbor, sorry.
Just weeks after her husband was killed, the newly widowed Lori Vallow moves to Rexburg, Idaho, where Chad Daybell lived with his wife Tammy and their children.
Facebook photos show Chad and Tammy as a happy couple.
But within a week of moving to Idaho, Lori takes a trip to Yellowstone with Tylee, JJ, and her brother Alex. Authorities say it would be the last time anyone ever saw Tylee alive.
There's a haunting picture of Tylee and JJ at Yellowstone, which is the last picture or evidence that Tylee was alive.
JJ would later be seen by a house guest of Lori's, but 2 weeks later, he too went missing. Adding to the mystery surrounding Lori and Chad, soon after Lori's kids go missing, Chad's wife Tammy unexpectedly dies.
Her fourth husband is dead, 2 kids missing, and his wife is now dead. And they do what any couple in that situation would do. They go to Hawaii to get married.
For months, investigators searched for Tylee and JJ, while the Daybells refused to talk, a judge ordering Lori to produce her children, but she never did.
While we were doing this investigation, they were enjoying themselves on the beach in Hawaii.
Lori, tell us where your kids are. Everybody wants to know.
Meantime, Lori's brother Alex, who killed her fourth husband in what he called self-defense, also dies in Arizona, authorities ultimately concluding he died of natural causes. Finally, 5 months after JJ was last seen, Lori is arrested and brought back to Idaho to face charges, including desertion and non-support of dependent children.
They were completely uncooperative in this whole process. They said nothing, they did nothing to aid us in our investigation in locating the children.
The horrible truth about what happened to JJ and Tylee discovered 3 months after Lori's arrest. Investigators uncovering 2 shallow graves about 50 yards apart on Chad Daybell's property. Inside those graves, remains of the 2 children.
What a shock to not only find them in Chad's backyard, but to find them in shallow graves. It's so profoundly sad and disturbing.
Chad Daybell arrested and charged with murder. Police dropping the earlier charges and now accusing Lori Vallow Daybell of murdering her own children. Her late brother, Alex Cox, also named as a co-conspirator.
They realize, wait a second, there's more to investigate here. So they exhume Tammy's body, and then they charge them for her death as well.
The coroner determining Tammy Daybell died of asphyxiation. Lori and Chad are tried separately in Idaho, both pleading not guilty. Lori Daybell was convicted in July of 2023 of murdering her own 2 children and conspiring to kill Chad's wife Tammy, and given consecutive life sentences. Chad Daybell also convicted of the murder of his wife and Lori's 2 children. The Doomsday author sentenced to death.
The death penalty has been imposed on those counts.
Now Lori Vallow Daybell facing a new jury to decide her fate once again.
If Lori Vallow is acquitted, then she's still going to serve life in prison. If she's convicted, you ensure that she serves life in prison, and she's never seeing the light of day.
Our thanks to Deborah. For much more in this story, watch Impact by Nightline, Lori Vallow Daybell, The Doomsday Mom Murders, now streaming on Hulu. When we come back,
These beautiful things that I've got, please stay.
Coachella fans heading to the desert to see Benson Boone's beautiful things, instead of only seeing the car in front of them for hours on end.
I'm Jason Isaacs, and I am congratulating Nightline on 45 incredible years. Happy anniversary, birthday, celebration, triumph, all of it. Well done.
Well, thank you, Jason. And finally tonight, they call it Carmageddon.
Get your freak on, get your freak on.
They came to see Missy Elliott perform her hit, Get Your Freak On, in the desert. But instead, Coachella's campers found traffic moving at a glacial pace. They could have used a little of headliner Lady Gaga's Abracadabra to cast a spell on all the gridlock.
It's just chaos. We've been here personally since 3 a.m. and this is crazy. It's literally almost 11.
With some reporting waits of more than 12 hours to get into the festival and even calling 911 in attempts to clear the traffic. That's Nightline for this evening. Catch our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here same time Monday. Thanks for the company, America. Have a good and safe weekend.